Hello everyone. Today's explanation is about records. Most languages will allow you to define arrays quite easily, but sometimes we want to define our own data structures. Imagine a program for a car sales showroom. If your program is going to process details about cars, it will be easier to create a record structure to hold all of the car details rather than storing them as one long string of text or lots of separate variables. We cannot put them in an array because the separate data items we need to store about each car are not all of the same data type. Here's a text file with some car details in it. We could process this file as lines of text, but it would be easier if we define our own data type that give this line of text some structure. So when we define a record, we use type. Then we put the variable of this record. Suppose we call it tcar, and we put in it record. So now we define tcar of type record. We put in it a variable. Suppose we call it registration, and define the registration of string that contains only 8 characters. And then we have another variable which is called make, and we put in it string that contains 15 characters. Then we use a variable that is called year and define it as integer. And we have a variable mileage which is defined as integer, and the last variable is price and defined also as an integer. When we finish the type record, we put end. In database, records are shown in table like the one below. So the first row contains all the variables that we defined them. Individual data items within a record are called fields. So field registration contains all the car registration found in the text file, and make is the type of the car. Then we have the year, mileage, and price. We put in it the data for every defined car in the text file.